Okay, I'm back. I actually went to sleep after doing my walkthrough of Navigators Tarot of the Mystic Sea, but I couldn't sleep. Insomnia. So I woke up in the middle of the night and decided I'm going to go ahead and trim that deck, which I did. Now I'm going to tell you the problems that were involved. This is the original size of the card. Now, this is not quite a full size, regular size tarot card. It's a little bit smaller, not much, but a little bit. But it has considerable border on it, as you can see. Now, the problem was that there were keywords on the top and labels on the bottom of the other sides. I don't have one now to show you, but you can see my other video. And the borders didn't line up on both sides, so it was a little bit tricky trimming them in order to have a full-size image on the backs of the cards. So I had to trim the tops off according to the backs, which trimmed just a sliver off of the image on the fronts of the cards. And then on the fronts, I had to trim off the labels on the bottoms, which trimmed off just a sliver on the backs of the cards. Then I had to go from the fronts to do the sides, which was okay for the backs. I don't know if I'm explaining this well, but if you look at the other walkthrough, you'll see. And you'll see the difference here. What happened, you can see I lost a little bit off the top and bottom of the backs. But I think they look really good. As I was doing them, I thought, oh, did I make a mistake? Maybe I shouldn't have done this. But I really like these beautiful backs without the white borders. And the fronts, when I used the corner rounder, made them really wonderful, really perfect. Now they are really small cards now. If you don't like tiny cards, this is not something you should try. They are now even a little bit smaller than the tarot in a tin. They're the width of a tarot in a tin, but not quite as tall. And I actually found this little plastic soap dish that is the perfect size holder for this deck now. Except it won't hold the little white book, but there's always some issue, right? But I just thought I would show you a quick walkthrough again of these cards. And now they are not so much in order. Well, I guess they're still in order, but sort of reverse order. These are the swords. I'm also sorry to say that because of the limitations of my lighting and my camera, you're not getting the best image of these, even though I think they look light years better than they did with the borders. The colors here are not as vivid on screen as they are in real life. This is an amazingly beautiful, colorful deck. Also, the images are very detailed, and it's probably time I go have my eyes checked and updated and maybe get a new prescription for glasses, because some of these require some high-powered glasses or a magnifying glass to pick up all the detail in the imagery. But I am able to get a little bit closer to the camera now that the cards are smaller. So maybe you'll pick up a little bit more of the detail. And I think most of these are identifiable. This is the King of Wands. You can tell pretty much by counting the swords and the wands and so forth what the cards are. The major arcana is a little bit more difficult to discern, which you'll see when we get there. But I think I'm pretty well pleased with this. See, I didn't do perfect job on it. I use scissors instead of I don't have a guillotine. I don't trust myself with a guillotine. Even with scissors, I think I did a better job than I might have done with a guillotine. So I no longer have the keywords on the cards, but they're still in the little white book if I want to refer to them, which I probably don't. And it seemed like there was enough description of the imagery in the book if I get confused over which card these are to figure it out from the little white book. But I had ordered a second copy of the deck, which is on its way, and I probably will leave that one intact with the keywords and the borders and the labels. These are very modern yet surreal sort of images. I like that the characters are in a multitude of peculiar colors, colorations. Blue people, golden people, purple people, green people, and strange tattoos, strange costumes, mostly nude. Yeah, sort of androgynous. I can't tell where the color looks better. I'm curious as to what you think, if you think these look better with or without the borders. I suppose it depends on whether you like borderless cards and also how much you like keywords and labels on your imagery. I don't believe I lost much of the image when I trimmed the tops. like I said, because of the way the back's aligned, I had to take a smidge off the top of each of the cards, and so you're missing just the tiniest little bit of these paintings. In most cases, I don't believe you're missing any details that are significant. Whoops. Now, many of you that like thick, oversized cards are not going to like these. But people that like dinky cards, miniature cards, pocket-sized decks might really enjoy this. It's still too new for me to see whether this is something I can read intuitively, whether this is something I will use at all, or just sort of keep as an art deck to thumb through, like a little pocket gallery. I do like the artwork, but it's so heavily symbol laden and not strictly, completely Rider-Waite-Smith oriented, so it's a little bit of a stretch somehow to read some of these images. Now, I could have just, since my main, excuse me, my main concern was eliminating the keywords at the top, I could have left just a smaller white border all the way around on it, so I'd have a label at the bottom, and I could still have trimmed off the copyrights at the bottom and left the labeling, and if I took off the keywords at the top, I would still have like a little bit of a border around it, and the cards would be a little bit larger. I don't know. I think I like them this way. And I like the way the backs look too. So that is my modified, trimmed version of the Navigators Tarot of the Mystic Sea. I don't know if this ever came out in a different edition, because the other video I saw of a trim walkthrough version, it seemed like the cards were bigger, but maybe I'll have to look at it again. Maybe she just held the cards closer to her camera, because it didn't seem like they were this small. But I'll have to look at that. This is a deck that probably would benefit by larger cards, just because there's so much detail in the imagery. But I love these little cards now. Okay, that ought to do it.